The ocean sang. It whispered secrets in the moonlight. The little mermaid listened. Her heart beat with the rhythm of the waves. She was home. Coral reefs glittered, a kaleidoscope of colors. Fish, silver and blue, darted through the water. The little mermaid, with her emerald tail and eyes like the deep sea, was the most beautiful creature in the ocean. She dreamt of the world beyond the waves. Days turned into weeks. The little mermaid couldn't forget the human world. She swam to the surface, watching the ships pass. Each glimpse fueled her desire to experience life on land. She longed to walk on the shore, to feel the sun on her face, to breathe the air that the humans breathed. She collected trinkets that fell from the ships: a wooden comb, a silver button, a small leather-bound book. Each object whispered stories of the world above. The little mermaid treasured them. They were pieces of a puzzle, fragments of a life she yearned for. The price was her voice. The sea witch would take her beautiful singing voice in exchange for legs. The little mermaid hesitated. Her voice was her identity, her connection to the sea. But the desire for the human world, for a chance to be with the prince, was stronger. She agreed. The potion was bitter, burning her throat like fire. The little mermaid's tail split, transforming into two human legs. She stumbled, weak and disoriented, onto the shore. The prince found her. A beautiful maiden washed ashore. He was kind, taking her to his palace. The little mermaid, mute but determined, tried to express her feelings. She danced for him, her movements graceful and full of emotion. She told him stories with her eyes, filled with longing and unspoken words. The prince was drawn to her, fascinated by her beauty and her mysterious silence. The little mermaid was living her dream, but the silence was a heavy burden. She missed the ocean song, the sound of her own voice. Section 4. The Price of Love. The little mermaid, despite her happiness, was losing herself. Every step on land felt like a betrayal of the sea. Her sisters visited, their voices filled with worry. They sang songs of the ocean, trying to remind her of who she was. But the little mermaid couldn't return. Not without the prince's love. The prince was kind, but his heart belonged to another. He saw the little mermaid as a fragile bird, a creature to be protected. He didn't understand the depths of her sacrifice, the love that burned within her silent heart. The little mermaid watched as he fell in love with a human princess, her heart breaking with every stolen glance, every shared laugh. The sea witch appeared, offering a way out. She could return to the sea, regain her voice, but the price was the prince's life. The little mermaid was torn. She could save herself, return to the world that was rightfully hers, but she couldn't bring herself to harm the prince. She loved him, even if he didn't love her in return. Section 5. A world transformed. The little mermaid made her choice. She wouldn't sacrifice the prince. She threw the sea witch's potion into the sea, accepting her fate. As dawn broke, she dissolved into foam, her body becoming one with the ocean. Her sacrifice, her love, transformed her into something more. She became a daughter of the air, a spirit free from the constraints of both worlds. She soared above the waves, her laughter echoing through the wind. She saw the world with new eyes, understanding the interconnectedness of all things. The ocean, the land, the sky, they were all part of the same story. Her story. She saw the prince, his heart heavy with a grief he couldn't understand. She whispered to him on the wind, a song of love and forgiveness. The little mermaid realized that sacrifice wasn't about loss, but about transformation. It was about letting go of one form to embrace another. She was no longer a mermaid, nor was she human. She was something new, a creature of air and sea, a being of love and sacrifice. Section 6. Echoes of the Sea. The Little Mermaid's story echoed through the waves, carried on the backs of dolphins and whispered by the coral reefs. It was a story of courage, of longing, of the sacrifices we make for love. It taught the creatures of the sea about the world beyond the waves, a world both beautiful and dangerous. It taught the humans about the magic that lived in the ocean depths. The Little Mermaid, in her sacrifice, became a bridge between two worlds. Her story reminded everyone that love, in its purest form, transcends boundaries. It transcends language, form, even life itself. The Little Mermaid's story continues to be told, passed down through generations. It reminds us that the ocean holds secrets, whispers stories of love and sacrifice. And if you listen closely, you might just hear her song, carried on the wind, a reminder that the most beautiful stories are often born from the deepest sacrifices.